Good morning, everybody. I am Bob Nagin, and welcome to Coronavirus and the Independent Retailer Podcast. This is episode number 25, and I am so honored that you are here, and I want to congratulate you. You know what I want to congratulate you about? I want to congratulate you that you've made it one day closer to being out of the other end of this bullshit. And it is bullshit. If you are watching this live, can you give me a couple hearts? I'm just getting tired of this, right? All the stuff with the government, the PPP, and if you're in Canada, everybody's got a bailout scheme. Scheme's not the right word. I was just using a phrase from our British Platinum Mastermind Group member, Mark. That's what they call it, a scheme. But, it's exhausting, isn't it? It's just exhausting. And the first thing we're going to talk today about getting the most from every single customer, which is a really, really important concept right now. And I'm going to sort of put a hot seat on the case study I did yesterday. But let's talk about it for a second. Yesterday I had two conversations with two different clients, and one of them has, 7 stores, a bar, a catering business. They're in Pennsylvania, and they are just shut down. They're doing a little bit of mail order. So it's difficult. I mean, he's doing a good job. He's keeping his head up. He's going to be all right, but it's difficult. And then later on in the afternoon, I talked to a partner. I talked to both of them, and they've got a bike shop, and they are busier than ever. I mean, they hit their April numbers, which were already aggressive on like the 9th day. So everything's all over the board. And I asked this morning on our Facebook, on this Facebook group, Whiz Bang Retailers, give me a little check-in, and it's all over the board. People are feeling every way. Some people are feeling excited. Some people are feeling energized. Some people are feeling exhausted. And all I want to say to you is it's all right. How you're feeling is all right. All of us go through good days and bad days, and it's just natural. This is, like I said, this is bullshit. Well, around here, our boys say the coronavirus is a bad look, and it is a bad look. So if you're feeling down and discouraged, don't worry about it. You don't have to be Superman, Superwoman. You just need to make it through another day. Your business just needs to make it through another day. Remember, assess, adjust, advance. We will get through this. It will be all right at the end. No matter what happens, you still have what's essential. You have your family, you have your friends, you have your relationship with your God. You still have the essentials. It's not what's happening, it's how you're reacting to what's happening. So allow yourself to feel how you feel, but just make sure that you're moving forward. At the end of the day, we just have to keep moving forward. As long as you don't give up, you're still in the game. Remember, I shared this a couple episodes ago. My brother Steve and I had a mantra that we're never going to be successful in business if we're not in business, so that one day at a time. That's where I adopted that one day at a time mantra. So, it's just what it is, and how you feel is okay. Let's move forward then. So getting the most from everything you've got. Yesterday's podcast, I did a case study from the Paisley Pig, which is I did a takeout order from the Paisley Pig, a restaurant here in Grand Haven. Had a wonderful experience, and I talked about what made the experience wonderful and how it applies to all of us as retailers. But what I thought is that I would sort of put it on a hot seat. A hot seat is something that we do in the Platinum Mastermind Group, where someone gets up and they share their problem or their opportunity, and everybody chimes in and gives them feedback. And it's a hot seat is a powerful, powerful way to think about problems and opportunities. So first of all, let me say that I shared yesterday's podcast with the Paisley Pig, and they were happy about it, excited about it. They shared it. Some of their friends shared it, and that's the first lesson. So that episode has been our most viewed episode. even more popular than the one where I talked about how to feel when you're, or what when you feel like giving up. You know, we had that conversation, and it was because of Paisley Pig and all of their employees and their website designer all shared it. And so the first lesson that I learned yesterday is you need to encourage shares. You need to encourage shares. So if you can find a way to interview your vendors, that you can interview your best customers and do things like that and get more shares, you're going to get more views. So that was just one of the things I'm going, how come this one is so popular? And then I looked, it was all being shared around locally, which is wonderful, and I'm happy for them. The other thing that I want to say before I start really getting into the hot seat is, I mentioned that there are a lot of other restaurants in Grand Haven that are closed. And I did not intend to, I don't think I did, but I want to be perfectly clear that I was not implying that if a restaurant is closed, it's because it's not a good restaurant. That was not my intent at all. There are lots of reasons for people to close down during a pandemic, and it's not a reflection on the quality of the restaurant. I was really just bragging on the fact that the Paisley Pig was hustling. So, I wanted to say one other shout out before I really got into it that I forgot to do yesterday. And when we were eating that delicious food from the Paisley Pig, our youngest son, Sam, said, the Paisley Pig is one of the few restaurants that I've ever known that gets better all the time. You know, what he said was, when the Paisley Pig opened, they were good. I liked it. But every time I go back, it gets better. And there's an important lesson there too, isn't there? There's this idea of craftsmanship. A while ago, I talked about the PIP, the perpetual improvement process. This idea that we're not just treading water as a business, we're getting better. We're focused on our customer. We're focused on our food if you're a restaurant. But I didn't share that yesterday, but I thought I'd share that today because that's another important lesson. You know, you're not standing still. You're not moving backwards. You should be moving forward. If you're a shopkeeper, you should be working towards becoming a retail pro. You know, we're always, this is the craftsmanship. This is the professionalism that I talk about a lot. This is the people who are the craftsmen, the people who are the pros, and I assume that's going to be you. Those are the people who are going to absolutely thrive when this is done. Those are the people, that's you, who are learning the lessons during the pandemic. So when the pandemic is done, you're going to be better positioned than ever before. So here's a couple of other things. So I mentioned yesterday that they didn't have beer and wine takeout. So when the owner of the Paisley Pig texted me back, he said, thanks for the shout out. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that people are noticing what we're doing. And he said, oh, by the way, I have beer and wine takeout, which is the first hot seat item. So if you have beer and wine takeout, the thing to do is to talk about it. I did not know that they had beer and wine takeout because it wasn't on their menu. Years ago, I spoke for the Gordon Food Service meeting in Southeast Michigan someplace. And there was a guy in that crowd, in the audience. His name was Tom Fiore. Now, I did an hour-long program. And Tom Fiore called me about 6 months later and said, Bob, I have made $100,000 on what you have taught me in that one 1 hour session. I'm like, what? Hey, all right, Tom, way to go. He said, if you ever get to the southeast side of the state, please come see me. I'd love to show you what I'm doing. One of the things that he did and where he made most of his money was with endorsed mailings. We're not going to talk about that here. If you have the Retail Mastery System, you should absolutely go into the marketing module and learn about endorsed mailings, because endorsed mailings are something that you could absolutely do to ramp up your business when this whole thing is over. But he said the other thing that I showed him, or an idea that I prompted, was this idea of takeout. He had an area that had plants, right? It was wasted space. And what Tom did was he turned it into a beer and wine takeout section. And he said, I am selling 15, 20 bottles of wine. It's a pretty big restaurant. I'm selling a lot. So the point here is, if you're doing it, tell people about it. So beer and wine, have it on your menu. So Paisley Pig, on that ordering page, they're already ordering takeout. Make sure that they know that it's there in bold letters that they can take out beer and wine. The next thing that I would suggest is that they encourage phone calls. There's a tendency when you have e-commerce to want people to order online. The deal is, if you can get somebody on the phone, you can learn more, suggest more, and add on more. Now, before some of you jump me, so to speak, I recognize that if you're doing more business than you can handle with your online curbside pickup, then you want to not encourage phone calls. We have several clients who, phone calls are slow. Phone calls slow them down, clog up the system. And so you don't want to encourage phone calls. But unless that's happening, unless you're at full capacity, you want to talk to people. So if I was a Paisley Pig, I would say, please call in your order. I would encourage them to call first and order online second. Why? Because, again, this is when you get a chance. When we order pizza, this is when you say, hey, would you like cheese sticks with this? By the way, a percentage of the sales of our cheese sticks go to help first responders. Or during the course of the conversation, do you know that we're giving away a free meal to somebody who works in the grocery store or a shift worker? You see, so we get an opportunity to have a conversation, to find out what they really like, and to add on. It really becomes the 6 steps of the perfect purchase: questioning and listening. Oh, do you like that? Having a conversation. Placing an order online does not develop a personal relationship. Having a conversation like I had with whoever answered the phone yesterday enhanced the whole experience. Now, the third part, if you're going to encourage people to pick up the phone, to call, to order, you want to train people who pick up the phone. We just did a whole ongoing professional development lesson on this for the Retail Sales Academy. You want to train them in phone selling. First of all, you want to train whoever answers the phone to be sensitive. If somebody's in a hurry, you don't talk about 20 different things. Some people like to talk, some people don't. Some people just want to order and get off the phone. Some people are open to your suggestions. So you want to make sure that you train people to be sensitive, to mimic what they're hearing on the phone. But then after that, a lot of people, especially now that we have a little extra time on our hands, like to talk. This is where you could say, oh, so you're ordering pizza? Well, maybe a salad would be nice with that. Or, hey, do you have beer or wine at home right now? Now, here comes the third part of the training program, right? So you're suggesting something. Now you need to make sure that your team members have the product knowledge to recommend the appropriate item, right? So we're using the example of the Paisley Pig, and somebody orders pizza. You need to train your people what pairs with what. They've got a big menu, so their people on the phone should know what to pair. Hey, an amber ale would go great with that thing. Oh, you're having this pizza? You might want to try that wine. Because if you're going to attempt to add on, you have to have the product knowledge to make sure that it's a perfect purchase. The next thing that I would do is I would also suggest that they have a bounce back coupon. I would suggest that all of you have a bounce back coupon. One of the challenges in this pandemic is to make sure that you are building relationships in such a way so that when this pandemic is over, your relationship with these customers is even tighter. Now, a bounce back coupon can be used one of two ways. And I'm talking about the Paisley Pig here, but of course, I'm talking to all of you at the same time. You could have a bounce back coupon that can be used at any time, can be used tomorrow, can be used next week. Or you can have a bounce back coupon that can be used when we're open. So for instance, for the Paisley Pig, you could make I don't know what their average ticket is, but let's just say it's a $10 gift certificate. It's not really a coupon, it's a gift certificate. So with every takeout order that goes out right now, say, here is $10 to be used, a reopening gift certificate. So when the dining room is open, we want you to come in and use this gift certificate. You see what we're doing? We're proactively using the traffic we have now to get more transactions, either now or when it's all said and done. So do you see how I'm asking you to think? Yesterday we talked about this whole idea of a customer experience audit. What I just shared with you and what I hope you took from it is this idea that the Paisley Pig gave me an absolute great experience yesterday. If you want to learn more about it, you can go back and listen to it in episode 24. But always, not always, but usually there are more hidden opportunities in every customer experience. And one of your jobs as a retailer, one of our jobs as retail trainers is to really, understand what they are and take advantage of them. Right now, every customer is even more precious than ever before. So it becomes our job to really think about how we can serve them better. And when we're serving them better, it naturally follows that the ticket increases, that they're happier, that they come back later, and of course, lifetime value of a customer. One more thing before we end. We're talking about lifetime value of a customer, but it's also about market share. When you're out there doing business right now and your competition is not, if you're running full hours and your competition is running limited hours, if you're giving your customers an even more over-the-top great experience, you're going to be gaining customers. You're going to be taking customers from Amazon. You're going to be taking customers from the people who aren't open. You're going to be taking customers. And if you do the right job, they're going to remain your customers when this is all said and done. One of the things that we're all starting to do, and I hope you're doing anyway, that certainly we at WizBang Training are doing and encouraging all of our clients to do, is to start looking at the future. The past is gone. Today is what it is, but this is going to end. We are moving forward. We are one day closer. So, yep, you have a right to be scared. You have a right to be angry. You have a right to be afraid. You have a right to be stressed out. But you also have a responsibility as a leader to keep moving forward. Because this is going to end, folks. It's bullshit right now, but it is, excuse my language. I keep it to that one bad word. But, it's bullshit right now, but it will be done. And when it's done, we're all going to be better for it. And yeah, I can't wait for it to be done either. So I hope that you found that helpful. I hope that you're going to go back and really, really take a look at the customers, at your customers' experience and what you can do to make it even better and get more money from it in a way that makes them even happier than they were before. All right, everybody, it is Friday. I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday.